Hey, this is McCready, your host on episode 83 of the Hookblast Podcast. This is the podcast where we discover a few new catchy songs. You know the drill by now. You add the songs you love to your own streaming playlists or follow mine. You can look them up on your streaming service by searching for Hookblast under playlists. You rock out all week, and the next week, we do it all again. Well, I popped in early this week to record the show. Actually, I didn't really have anywhere else to go. My wife kicked me out for a while. She said she needs some alone time. That was a year ago. She accused me of having zero empathy. And I don't understand how she can feel that way. And I totally agreed with her when she said she looked fat in those jeans. Anyway, let's play some hooks. Kicking off the show this week is a band that goes by WTS, which stands for What's That Sound? That's a band with two names, but it's really only one name. It's not really confusing. You know what's confusing? Double standards. Those are confusing. Well, for example, burn a body at a crematorium, and you're doing what the family wanted. Do it at home, and suddenly, you're destroying evidence. This is WTS with Losing My Mind.
I'm stuck between insanity and manic dreams. Lost in the space between my life and your needs. My soul, it just screams, I yearn to be free. I think I'm losing my mind. I think I'm losing my mind. Lost in space, no end. I think I'm losing my mind. I think I'm losing my mind. Lost my senses, deaf, dumb, and blind.
Oof. That's a great breakup song for a rainy day. There I was, standing under the downpour, looking her in the eyes, and through my tears I said, "Listen, kid, we're no good for each other. Let's call it a day." And I could tell from the look in her eyes that, well, she did not want to give me the frisbee and go back to her kennel. But like they say in Nebraska, or where I'm from, you can't teach an old dog to shoot two in the bush, but you can get the ducks yourself if you have good hip waders. I'm pretty sure they say that. Okay, coming up behind that is a song that's a nice mood setter for sipping on some booze in a dark room by minahkeem. minahkeem wrote this song while thinking of how things might have turned out with that special someone. If I just hadn't introduced my imaginary girlfriend to my dad. My dad said, "You can do better." I was like, "Thanks, Dad." He said, "No, I was talking to your girlfriend. This is Will You Be Mine?"
Yeah. Candlelight, stomach ring, wedding dress, not my thing. Doesn't mean I got time on my hands for a fling. Did you know that you're the reason that I never wanna let another bother me again? I thank you for all of your service. This isn't sarcasm, need you to know this. Now that I'm standing where I needed to be, I see that you were waiting for me. Ooh. Before I could say my words, you locked them up and I would not have been okay if you had not held on to my hand. Though it was hard, it did pass. Since you had earned my respect, you sure caught me by surprise there. Who would have known we're looking for the same type of fun to fill up our lives? More than a lover, will you be mine? A friend to cross all the lines and not just my Valentine.
All right, that's minahkeem. Okay, this is the helpful life tip section of the show. But today it's more of a helpful observation. Okay. When you take on a new project, it's important to scope it out, so you have the highest probability of success. And I've discovered the number one obstacle to getting rich quick. Bank security guards. Think about it. If you found that insightful and you enjoy the show, please leave me a 5-star rating and a review in your favorite podcast app. Or by going to ratethispodcast.com/Hookblast. Okay, up next on the show is artist Kase with Remember the Time. This song starts with a vividly rendered flashback and ends with a verse about the forces that pull good friends apart. Like the time I had this really good friend, and we shared everything. And one time he got really mad at me for taking his car on a road trip. No, wait. It wasn't his car. It was his girlfriend. He got mad at me for taking his girlfriend on a road trip. Well, of course, by then she was his wife. Anyway, here's Remember the Time.
Let's drink a little more. Wake up in the morning, go straight to the store. Pick up a burrito on the way out the door. Blunt wraps for the runs, a case for the poor. We been loaded, locked in from the first cell phone till we rode in my Benz. Then Ali exhaled every show we walked in. Everybody gon' say hello to my little friend. From the bottle to the cradle to the crop and the trim, till we both got a stable and the profits begin. Getting money like a bull and got caught in the pen. At the FedEx, pack and hit the block in the sprint. I was living in Hawaii, top floor in a penthouse. Uncle Dolomite was rough with me, then he went out. Skip told me that I had a hit, went to his house. Said I could be Elvis, helped me bring the gift out. I remember that time we were sitting on the deck, kicking on back, we were just kicking back. Both had the best on the horse on the track, trying to catch up with the genie in the lamp. Sentimental moments I remember like that, chasing after money just to get a little stack. All money ain't good money, that's all facts. I would give it all up just to get it all back.
That's Remember the Time. I don't know if you believe in astrology. I mean, how would I? I'm a Sagittarius. My Aunt Becky was an astrologist. She was a Cancer, which makes the way she died really ironic. She was attacked and devoured by a gang of crabs. Anyway, up next we have a song about cancer, the disease. The song is actually called Cancer. It's by artist David Whitcher Saga, and he wrote it based on personal experience and the difficult time one has when battling it. But it ends with notes of triumph.
Why do I get up when I could simply fade away? Why do people say that I'm a fighter? Yes, they do. What else would you do if you were living in my shoes? Cancer is the answer. Cancer is the answer. Cancer is the answer to all these questions I have. Cancer.
That's David Whitcher Saga. Okay, we're at the part of the show again where I get to tell you that the Hookblast Podcast is brought to you by Music Xray. MusicXray.com is where much of the music industry goes to find high potential songs and talent. New musician users can apply Hookblast 21 at checkout. Okay, taking this song relay race through the finish line this week is the band 3 at Home. Which reminds me of my own 3 at Home incident. My wife was screaming, "Get her out of our bed!" I was like, come on. She's still sore from her distemper shot and the worm pills. Anyway, this song was written by the band members over text message and voice memo. The first time they played it live for an audience was also the first time they played the song together. Here is What Are You Afraid Of? Oh, well, that's easy. I have fee-fi phobia. Yeah, it's the fear of giants. I'm a genius.
So what if you lose? Chalk it up to just paying your dues.
But what if I win? Will I ever win like that again? Look left, look right. No one can tell if I'm
Honey,
in this
it's
fight.
so good for your health. You just gotta convince yourself.
Gotta trust the net to catch my fall, even when there is no net at all. Watch it go, watch it stay. Who do you hate? Who do you love?
What are you afraid of?
Okay, that's all the time we have for episode 83 of the Hookblast Podcast. I have to correct an error from episode 80 when I introduced the song Mr. Limo Driver. I said the name of the artist was John Doyle, and it isn't. It's Jim Doyle. And it's about time John Doyle stopped taking the credit. Had just about enough of that. Confusing the show. Now I hear he's quit his job as a poultry inspector and is starting his own record label. Well, anyway, if you haven't done it yet, add Mr. Limo Driver by Jim Doyle to your own streaming playlists. All songs on the podcast are used with the permission of the rights holders. Please share this episode with someone in your life who can use a few new catchy songs in theirs. You can email these episodes to everyone in your address book. I did, and he mailed me back. You know, but once you've seen one cease and desist letter, you've seen them all. I'll see you right back here next week with a fresh batch of new hooks. Bye-bye.